made it late to my own live video. I've just had some major technical difficulties. So I'm late to my own live, but I'm here. So everyone's probably wondering, where is she? So I've made it. And today, so anybody watching the replay, that's totally irrelevant. But what I am talking about today is, what do you say when people think your products are too expensive? Excuse me, I'm all out of sorts now. So this can come up quite often in our industry. So in our industry, I mean, social selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing, because we build our business on a model where we use people instead of stores. So generally, as an overall rule in this industry, our products are higher quality than what you can get if you're in a product-based business. So due to that, the products can tend to be generally, in some cases, a little bit more expensive than, for those of you that are in a health and wellness type business, the products can be more expensive than what somebody might be able to find in a health food shop or a supermarket, something like that. And that's what people compare to, unfortunately. So we have to deal with this often, particularly in the health and wellness space. So let's have a chat about how to deal with this, because I know there are lots of you that come up against this. So let's talk about some strategy as to how to overcome it. So if you ever get the objection, it looks really good, but, that's a little bit too expensive, isn't it? You know how to deal with that. So if you are watching me live and you found me live, sorry about the technical difficulties, please say hello, let me know you're here. Or watching on the replay later, just put the word replay. Just before I get into this training, I just want to share with you, those of you that are in my coaching community, we just finished a training before about what you should be doing in December and January to really kickstart your business for 2025. Really important training, lots of golden nuggets. I gave you notes as well. So if you're a coaching community member, make sure that you go and catch that training that I did just before. It's really quite powerful, okay? So there's two things that you need to really take into consideration if you think, or you get the objection that people are saying, oh, yeah, it looks really good, but it's just too expensive. I can't afford it. Okay. The first thing to take into consideration is your mindset around it. And the second thing is the strategy to overcome it. So let's look at both of those things. Okay. The first one is your mindset around it. You are losing the battle if you think your products are too expensive. Okay, so just check in with yourself regarding that. If you think your products are too expensive, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to overcome any objections for somebody saying that your products are too expensive because you actually think it too. So if you think your products are too expensive, that is absolutely a mindset shift that you need to get over and you need to deal with. If the quality is there, then stand behind it. If, your products deliver something that somebody can't find anywhere else, stand behind that. You've got to have conviction behind your own products and what they do and how they help people, so you can overcome the objection that when people think your products are too expensive. Does that make sense to you? So if you think your products are too expensive, then you're losing the battle with the argument when somebody comes up, says, I think, that's a little bit too expensive. So firstly, there's a massive mindset shift for yourself around whether you think your products are too expensive or not. So you need to do some work on your own mind and your own thoughts if you think your products are too expensive. Okay, so it might be belief in the products. It might be learning a little bit more about the products yourself to know why they're so unique and why somebody can't get them anywhere else. They can only get them from you through this distribution network, and they've got the most incredible ingredients, whatever it is, but you've got to build your own belief in the value of the products that you sell, critical. Otherwise, you're always going to battle it. So you need to work on that. The second thing is the strategy around it when you get that objection. So when someone says to you, yeah, it looks really great, but they're just too expensive. So there's three things around strategy that you need to take into consideration here, okay? The first one is that you always want to sympathize and agree with the person with the objection. You never want to argue with them. So if someone says, oh, it seems a little bit expensive, you never want to say something like, oh, no, they're not really, when you blah, 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 whatever you then try to justify. So if you come in on the defensive, that's going to put somebody on the back foot. When you agree with somebody's objection, they actually feel heard and understood. So we absolutely want to say, first and foremost, I do understand how you feel. Have you ever heard of the Feel, Felt, Found principle by Eric Worre? It's brilliant, and it can help you with any objection that you might come across in relation to, dealing with objections. Is the feel, the felt, the found. So I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way too, but this is what I found. So you can use that with this money objection. Yeah, I totally understand how you feel. I felt a bit the same way too when I first came across these products. So I totally understand how you feel. So you're sympathizing and agreeing with the person's objection. That's so, so, so important, because then they feel seen and heard with their objection. Okay, so you totally understand that feel. I felt the same way too. So then you're agreeing with them. That's really important. But here's what I found. And the found part is where you put your point across. So the found part could be a script, something like, but I found for me, there is no, let's talk like health and wellness type products. What I found for me is that there's no price tag on my health. I can't get these kind of products anywhere else. And I would rather sacrifice or cut back my expenses on my coffee every day or other things that I'm spending on to make sure I get these good quality ingredients in my body for my health. Nothing more is more important to me than my health. So that's where whatever your story is as to why you're on the products, the reason that you're on the products, how the products have helped you, that's your opportunity to bring in the story. Okay, am I making sense so far? Just put in the comments whether you're watching on Instagram or Facebook, YouTube, etc. Does that make sense so far? So the first thing is your mindset around the price of the products. You've got to get that in check. You've got to do that work on your belief in your products and the price tag that's attached to that. Otherwise, it's always going to continue to be a problem for you, because you've got to back your products and the price tag to be able to go into battle with anyone with the objection about price. Okay. The second one with the strategy, there's 3 elements to strategy. The first one is to agree and sympathize. So the feel, felt, found principle. So yeah, totally understand how you feel. I kind of felt the same way too when I looked at it, but what I found is that these products are priceless. There's no price tag on my health. I will do whatever it takes, and I will sacrifice other things and go without to make sure I can afford these products every month. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. So that's the strategy number 1. The second thing to realize that you have to do, this is your job to do with your products, is to showcase the value. When people perceive value, they will pay. So if you are constantly getting an objection around price, you are not positioning the value of the product, as perhaps well as you should be on social media or in your stories or wherever you're promoting, TikTok, Reels, etc. So when you position the value, people will pay. So when people know they can't get it anywhere else, if people really genuinely think this product can help them, so your job there with positioning the value is really honing in on the problems that it solves. So you've got to know your target market really well and the problems that you solve for that target market, and talk about that over and over again. So this is where on social media you don't want to talk about what your thing is. You want to talk about what your thing does and what the problem solves. And when somebody truly believes that your thing will solve a problem for them, they will pay. It's like anything that you do, that you buy. I know there's things that you will go and buy that are quite expensive. But the reason why you buy it is it because you know that's the value of what you're buying, and that's just kind of what it takes. Okay? So if you've been following my socials, I was talking to my VIP students about this the other day. There's 2 quite expensive purchases that I've made just recently, and I've shared it quite openly on my socials, particularly in my stories. One of those is a weighted vest. When I'm exercising, I'm using a weighted vest. Not many people know the benefits of a weighted vest when exercising. So I've shared, the benefit of that. And I've got tendonitis and bursitis in my shoulder, and I've had a cortisone injection, all of that kind of stuff. So I teach a class at the local gym every Monday morning, but I can't lift the bar above, my head because of my shoulder. So I'm thinking, what else can I do to get that same kind of workout without lifting above my shoulder? I'll get a weighted vest. So I know the benefits of a weighted vest. So I'm willing to pay. So I've paid. Like, it's not a cheap product necessarily. The other thing, some of you might have been following my socials with my skin journey, and I'm still clearing up. I've got makeup on, but you can see, I've still got stuff on my face here that's clearing up because of my skin. I won't go into that. But I have to go and get treatments on my skin to thicken up my skin because of the issue that I've got with my skin. So it's like, either I can spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and into the thousands of dollars of getting these treatments, or I could invest in something that I can use from home that I can put on my face, like this light therapy thing. And it was expensive, but it's solving a big problem for me. So people will pay. They will pay when they perceive the value. So when it comes to your products, whatever those products are, how good a job are you doing of sharing the value of what your product does for people? It's all about what it does and not what it is. So that's number 2. Are you actually sharing enough value? Because when people perceive the value, they will pay. Okay. The third thing around strategy with dealing with a price objection is, how can you value stack from you? Okay. So what can you add on from your perspective as the provider? Like, if you're in network marketing or social selling, you're probably tapping into what the company provides. It's a product that the company distributes. They send it out. They pay the company. But what else can you provide over and above what the company does to value stack if you have real objections regarding price with your products? So when you value stack, maybe you can add on, maybe you've got some extra spare product, lying around your house, or something that it is just going to go out of date or whatever. Could you send them a thank you gift? Could you send them something else to try? Is that what's added extra benefit? Could you send them some recipes to support them on their weight loss journey? Have you got a Facebook group that you could tap them in and give them extra value as part of the purchase of their product? Like, what can you do to value stack so somebody sees the value in what they're purchasing? So that's something for you to think about. It's like, how can I value stack? How can I make this worth, if somebody thinks it's too expensive, how can I value stack to make them see the value of not only what the product is, but what I'm providing as well? Okay. So overall, if you get a price objection with what you're offering product wise, one, check in with your own mindset. If you think it's too expensive, you're already behind the 8 ball. You have to do work on your own belief of your own products. Do a little bit more product research, ingredients, what it does, how they can't get it anywhere else. Like, you've got to have those things front of mind when you get objections to be able to talk to. Okay. And the strategy side of it, 3 things you're thinking about. Number 1 is the agree and sympathize. I totally, understand how you feel. I felt the same way too, but what I found is, and then you share, what it is that you found. So that's gold, like the feel, felt, found principle. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the value proposition. Are you doing a good enough job in your socials of sharing the value of the product that you're using? Because when people perceive the value, they will pay. So maybe that's, something that you need to work on regarding your content and how you're explaining what it is that you have. If you talk too much about it and it's, quite gimmicky, and they don't really understand how it's going to help them with their health, then the price becomes more of an objection. Okay. And the third one is, how can you personally value stack if price it comes up as an objection? What extra can you add in to help somebody over the line to, create that purchase? Okay. So all of those things will help, quite a bit in relation to if somebody thinks that your products are too expensive. So I hope you got something out of that. I hope you took some little notes or a little golden nugget or just some kind of little strategy that can help you overcome the objection of price if you get it in the future. So all of that will be really helpful for you with sort of dealing with that objection. Okay, so thank you to those who are live. I know I had technical difficulties and I was very late to my own live, but I hope you found this video anyway, because there's some really valuable information in it. And I will see you same time tomorrow. Bye.